terms is I want you to write down. And everything I'm going to give you is going to be synonyms of what you know as public and private. The thing I'm going to give you is going to be an equal and opposite. You have synonyms that mean similar, and then I'm going to give you antonyms that means opposites. And every phrase that I give you is going to be there's going to be an equal and opposite antonym. Synonyms mean same, antonyms mean opposite, okay? So the term, the word public, P-U-B-L-I-C, the antonym for the public is private, okay? You have the public, then you have the private. And one cannot exist without the other. To see one, you must know the other exists. To know one, you must know that the other exists. If you see one, you're seeing both of them. You just have to know that. Because the contracting that comes from these two phrases is 90% of your problem. Let's go further into this. The word public has other synonyms that refer to the status of public. Now again, if you pay real close attention and you take you out what you call a piece of paper and you write on that piece of paper the word public and you draw a line under it, I want you to write these terms down. I want you to get them into your psyche. I want you to begin to unravel this spell of Leviathan that has all of us perplexed about how do I use my commercial activity or energy? How do I do? You got to know. You got to know. You got to know. And I'm going to show you the magic in this. I can tell this to you all day. If you take a pen and a piece of paper and write it down, you're actually doing something that's going to lock into your psyche, because subliminally this will stick with you. And once you have read it from your own hand, once you have spoken it out loud into the universe, once you analyze this internally and externally, it's going to be very hard for these Luciferians to get you back on the plantation, especially those of you that have been studying your Moorish heritage. Okay? So, these phrases, every time you see, let me back up, not every time you see, every time the word public is used, these words need to come to mind first before you act. Okay, first word that's synonymous to the public is illusion. Yes. What do you mean? The public is real, isn't it? In commercial activity, illusion. It has the appearance, but it is an illusion. First phrase is illusion. Here's another phrase. Debtor. Someone says public, you're supposed to know it's an illusion, and they're talking about debtors. That's the second synonym, debtor. The third is a compound word, limited liability. If they're talking about the public, those that are in the public have limited liability. Limited liability. Limited liability. That's another synonym for public. Anything that's in the public has limited liability. That's why people in the public always are getting in trouble, because they got limited liability. Just write these down, let them get into your psyche. Here's a fourth synonym. Anyone that's in the public, when you're identified by the court as being the public, you're also being identified as an illusion, a debtor, limited liability, and you're also fourth synonym, you're irresponsible. Yes, the public is irresponsible. You can't think for yourself. You need government to give you food, clothes, and shelter. You're not responsible if you're in the public. You're irresponsible. Write these things down. You need to see them, say them, conform it to your frontal lobe. Because this is what it is. It ain't up for debate. Do your own research on what I'm giving you. I'm here to give you facts. Those that are in the public are irresponsible. Now watch this. I'm going to give you 3 phrases that are synonymous with the public. Anytime someone in the public does anything, they're doing it under opinion. That's one phrase. They're doing it under opinion. The public deals with opinions. The public also deals with presumption. Opinion, presumption. What's the next one? The next one is testimony. All right, the public deals with opinion, presumption, testimony. Every time you see the word public, you need to know it's an illusion. They're talking about debtors, limited liability, they're irresponsible, and it's based on opinion, presumption, and testimony. That is what the public is in commercial activity. Okay? Here's a couple of more phrases to go with that. Those that are in the public cannot act. Why they can't act? Because it's based on opinion, presumption, testimony. They're irresponsible. They're limited. They have limited liability. They're debtors, and they're an illusion. That's why they can't act. Oh, yeah, it's starting to sink into some of you guys, but keep writing because I need you to get this. I need you to clean up this paradigm. I need you to know this. We all need you to know this. Okay. Give you another one that identifies you or is synonymous with the public. Consumers. If you are using the word consumer, you are a consumer. You're in the public. If you're unsure where you are, am I a consumer? Yeah, okay, well, I'm in the public, okay? These are synonymous with the public. Here's another phrase, a series of words, if you understand. Those that are in the public, if a judge has to deal with in any capacity, the judge is then immune. So if they identify you as the public, then the judge automatically has immunity. Why? Because you're consumers, you cannot act, it's based on opinion, presumption, testimony, you're irresponsible, you have limited liability, you're a debtor, and you're an illusion. That's why the judge has to have immunity. Starting to make a little more sense to you now, isn't it? Got some more for you, those of you that need some cleaning and cleaning up. Okay, here's a couple of other words that are synonymous with the public. Argument. If you are making an argument, best believe you've just been classified as the public. Now watch this. Because you're arguing also in the public, that means you are in dishonor. Damn. Right. These are synonymous with the public. Well, why am I in dishonor? Because you're arguing. The judge got to be immune because you're a consumer who cannot act. It's based on opinion, presumption, testimony. You're irresponsible. You have limited liability. You're a debtor, and you're in the illusion. You're in the illusion. And here's another one. This is the final one I'm going to give you dealing with the public. Now, keep in mind, all these phrases I'm giving you, I'm going to give you the antonym, the opposite of what it means in the private. The last one I'm going to give you is procedure. Everybody in the public can only deal with procedure. Procedures. All court cases that deal with any entity that's in the public, they're basing their opinion, presumption, and testimony on procedure. Why? Because people in the public, they're arguing. They're in dishonor. The judge has to have immunity. He's dealing with consumers who cannot act. They're based in opinion, presumption, testimony. They're irresponsible. They have limited liability. They are a debtor because they're part of the illusion. That's what the public is. That's what it has always been. Every time you are in contract, you're either public or private. And if you don't know who you are, ignorance of the law is no excuse. Now, let me help you out, because these are all what we're talking about that are attributes of the public. Now, let's talk about the attributes of those in the private. Okay. The private, a synonym that describes the private is, unlike the public that's in an illusion, the private is real. It's of substance. It's real. It's based on your, excuse me, it's based upon your elodial estate. You know, we're talking about the sentient soul of an individual that comes from the Most High. You're real. You're substance. That's one indication that you're private. Another one, keep in mind, the public is dealing in illusion, and they're also talking about debtors. So the private must mean that you're a creditor. Whoa. Creditor. I'm real. I'm a creditor. If I'm in the private. Let's go a little further. The public said that you're an illusion, debtor, and you got limited liability. So in the private, when it comes to liability,